Follow and... Thanks for joining us, 2K Sports fans, for another exciting presentation of NBA basketball. With Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. Kings looking to make the most out of their home court advantage here in Sacramento. And the starting group for the Grizzlies. Randolph and Gasol are down low. Mike Conley and Tony Allen in the backcourt. And it's Prince in at the small forward. And for Sacramento, we've got DeMarcus Cousins. Patrick Patterson is out there with Salmons. Then there's Tyreke Evans. And it's Fredette in at the point guard position.
Well, for a long time, the Grizzlies had been looking for something to build on, but with the core group of players that they have now, I think they have a really bright future. This is a team that defends, they play well together, and they've got really good interior passing as well.
Now, here is Fredette. Salmons a screen on Conley. The three from Fredette. It's rebounded by Gasol. Here are the Grizzlies with the ball. Allen outside. Back to Gasol. Kicks it out to Prince. Gets it to go. Well, you mentioned the interior passing, Steve. The Grizzlies work so well. Unit. Clark, they can just pick you apart.
Yeah, and they didn't really have huge assist numbers as a team. But Gasol was one of the best passing centers, and Spates and Randolph combined for quite a few helpers as well.
I'm sure they'd like to get more shots like that one.
Here is Conley. And about a minute gone here in the first quarter. And it's Randolph penetrating. Gets the bucket.
Well, Zach Randolph, a true scorer, both inside and out. He can knock down that rainbow jump shot with a hand in his face. Not the quickest guy, but just has a knack for finishing over the top of bigger defenders when he gets in the lane.
Here's Evans after the made shot from Zach Randolph. And now the Grizzlies, fast break. Conley's running, knocked loose. Gasol gets to Conley. Conley off the pick from Randolph. Conley dishes to Randolph. That's in there. Conley with the assist. And Randolph, a gifted post scorer. Is fun to watch him work down low, isn't it?
Yeah, he sure is fun to watch, Kevin. He understands how to use the angles to his advantage. He nudges guys off their defensive position. He's able to get shots off over shot blockers that are much taller. He doesn't beat you as much with speed as he does with guile and touch.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Grizzlies will take it. Let's send it over to Doris Burke, who caught up with head coach Keith Smart. Doris?
He brought up Marc Gasol, a kind of sleeper player he thinks could give them trouble. Coach said he's a guy 7 foot plus. He's very skilled, can shoot and finish over either shoulder, and he doesn't shy away from contact. He's a guy you have to really pay attention to. And I've told our guys, we can't let him have a big game. Fellas, we'll see how they do against him.
And as always, Doris, thank you. Now here's Evans. Patterson passes to Cousins. Stolen by Michael Conley. That's good from Gasol on the assist by Conley. The Kings trail by 6. And here's Fredette. And Cousins kicks to Salmons. There's the triple. Can't get it to go. Now the Grizzlies take it the other way. Some firepower, Clark and Steve, from this offense.
Yeah, Kevin, how about the air of confidence? I mean, they really look like they believe in what they're doing.
Yeah, a little swagger here from this team. They're in a nice groove.
Evans. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
I thought last season was a better year for Tyreke Evans. He bounced around a little bit position-wise, but he became better defensively and did a nice job for Sacramento creating shots for other people.
And for Tyreke Evans, regarding his work defensively, it has to help with a great veteran, I would think, in the defender like Chuck Hayes, Clark, on the team.
Yeah, we all need mentors, and in basketball, you need veteran guys that show you how to get things done. at both ends of the floor as you're a young developing player. Chuck Hayes is a terrific example for a guy like Tyreke Evans to follow.
Now, here is Fredette. Covered by Conley. Good.
You know, Kevin, they were a step late on their defensive rotation, and that helped them get right to the rim.
Kicks to Randolph. Salmon's covering. Straight up. The shot's good from Randolph. Randolph's got 6.
They are in attack mode right now. That's 10 straight points, guys, all coming inside the paint.
And Steve, if I'm them, I'd keep going right to the heart of that defense like they have been until they do something about it. If they don't offer resistance, take everything you can get in there.
And Allen slams it in.
This has been an offensive explosion, guys. They are on fire.
How about a volcanic eruption, a flash fire? And defensively, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. They just hope that they cool off at some point.
And it's the Kings with the ball, following the score by Memphis. And here's Fredette for 3. Allen with the rebound. And the Grizzlies leading by 9. Conley dishes to Prince.
Oh, ridiculous move. Tore it down that time.
You know what? There he goes again. I mean, it's not a stretch at all to call him one of the NBA's elite premier dunkers. He's actually platinum.
You're right. You know, Steve, when he gets in his mind to attack the rim, it's always something to see.
Yeah, and it's exactly what we've come to expect from him because he does it continually on a night-in, night-out basis.
And that was Sprite bringing you the close-up on that big-time play. And an overpowering first-quarter effort. Already a double-digit advantage. It's the Grizzlies. They lead by 11. And the second quarter will be on the way when we come back. Well, not exactly a close game so far, but as the second quarter starts here, plenty of time for a comeback. And guys, the Grizzlies enjoying a nice lead here.
And that first quarter was all about pace, guys, because this club really got out into transition, and that's how they've built this lead.
They like to play fast, and they're doing a nice job filling the lanes.
They're going to turn it over. They couldn't get it inbounds that time.
And for Grizzlies coach Lionel Hollins, a wealth of NBA coaching experience, 10 years as a player, over 2 decades in coaching, and all of his head coaching experience has come with the Grizzlies.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. On the court for Sacramento, we've got Salmons. Jimmer Fredette is out there with Tyreke Evans. Then there's Patrick Patterson, and it's Cousins in at the 5 down low. And for Lionel Hollins, this is his 4th full season as a head coach.
Yeah, he stepped in on an interim basis in 3 separate seasons with the Grizzlies. That's really remarkable, even going way back to their days in Vancouver. So, you know, Hollins has built up a lot of equity with his organization. He's impressed them with his stability and his focus and just how measured he is in his approach as a coach. I think one of the underrated coaches in this league.
Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Kevin, one of Tony Allen's greatest strengths is he is such a high-energy player. He said, my whole thing is getting guys focused. I play with a lot of passion. I play with a lot of heart and soul. I play like I may never, ever get back on the court again. I'm going to tire myself out. I'm going to be yelling. I'm going to be screaming. But I always hope that has a snowball effect. Fellas, his relentless hustle and physicality have really come to define this Grizzlies team.
Well, they call it grit and grind. That's what he's brought. Thanks, Doris. The Kings need to get off a shot here. And they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation. And we're now about a minute and a half into the second quarter.
Ed Davis was very slender when he came into this league out of North Carolina, but he's done a good job of adding muscle to his frame. And with that lunch pail game of his around the rim, that will serve him well. That strength will be big.
To the inside, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Grizzlies will take it.
You always want a player to have his head up and to be surveying the court, but not if that's going to be the result.
Tooling with it. Here is Day. Misses from close range.
And you know, guys, I really like what I've seen from Ed Davis. You know, he's starting to fill out his frame a bit. He's got the real long wingspan, long arms. He's got excellent bounce. He's starting to add to his shooting range as well. I think he's going to be a really good big man in this league for a decade or more if he can stay healthy.
Catching up on the changes for Sacramento. Jason Thompson, he's checked in for Cousins. Hayes comes in for John Salmons. And Travis Outlaw subbed in for Patrick Patterson. Inside. Just 4 to shoot. Here's Bayless, and Thompson sends it back. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D. Marcus Thornton, he's checked in for the Kings. Some changes for Memphis. The Kings trailed by 11.
Very sad to see where this Sacramento franchise has gone kind of the last 4 or 5 seasons, guys. Remember the heyday back in the early 2000s when they had Vlade Divac, Mike Bibby, Stojakovic, and they filled up the building every night back then. We'll see if they can ultimately get it rolling again here in Sacramento.
That's an excellent pass to find the man streaking to the bucket. On time, on target.
The Grizzlies shooting their first free throw of the game here. Steve, that old team you were talking about, those old Kings teams, that was incredible how they played. In fact, I remember the commissioner, Clark David Stern, said, we would love if the entire league played with that kind of flair and flamboyance and passion that Kings team of that era played with. They were so fun to watch.
They really were, Kev. One of my favorite teams, the way they played. They came close to knocking off the Lakers in the Western Finals, and they really were one of my favorite teams to watch. It shows, Kevin, that you can have and sustain a winning team in a small market like Sacramento.
Conley up top. He's guarded by Thornton. Randall hammers it home.
And it has been total domination on their part.
Yeah, they haven't put the parking brake on at all. They're continuing to go full throttle and pile up the points.
Outlaw with it, and Allen picks him up defensively. Evans passes to Thompson. Shot to stop the run. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Jason Thompson out of Ryder. Nice rotation, big man, about 6'11", 250. I like his game. You know, when DeMarcus Cousins arrived in Sacramento, Thompson's minutes waned a little bit. I think he's got a lot of potential. Somebody could make a steal if they were able to make a move for him.
Pass to Randolph. Right side, Conley. His first shot coming late, and the Grizzlies tack on 2 more.
Keeping up the pressure here. I like that. When you have a lead, don't let up.
Yeah, this game could be over soon if they keep pounding it the way they are.
Kept alive. Lets it go with a 3. Randolph kicks to Allen. Back to Randolph. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
You know, you look at Randolph, guys, and what stands out is the consistency. He's been a 20-10 guy for most of his career, so dependable. And, you know, there aren't many guys like that in the league. But with Randolph, you know what you're getting every night.
Well, of course, his offensive rebounding part of the equation there. Even on nights he might struggle, he's great at chasing down his own shot and putting the ball back in the hole after he retrieves it.
Thornton, no good.
They're losing their composure a little bit here on the bad end of a run.
Yeah, they are, and they need to come up with a rally-wrecking play here to stop this run. All business there, not messing around one bit. Flushed it right with one hand.
He never does, Clark. He never does.
Well, that's kind of his trademark, those slams like that one.
Stolen by Randolph. And here we go with Allen running it up the court. And powered down the champ.
That's a gut punch right there, Clark. Cough up the ball at one end and get beaten on the break at the other.
Yeah, that really hurts. That's painful.
Got it off in time. No good on that last second attempt there. And through the first half, a pretty lopsided.
Now, presented by Sprint.
31.
Thursday night.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. It's been one outstanding game from Zach Randolph.
Seems like every time he's gotten the ball down on the block, guys, he's had his defender at his mercy. I mean, he's eating this team alive.
Yeah, he really is. The big man is doing major eating down there in the paint. I like the way he's mixed up his approach, too. He's kept the defenders off balance.
Kicking off the second half, here's Lionel Hollins 5. Mike Conley and Tony Allen in the backcourt. Randolph and Gasol are down low. And it's Prince in at the 3 spot. Fredette gets the bucket.
Came off the screen and did what I call a right now move, right to the rim. The defense had no time to recover.
You know, the Grizzlies were dominant against the West in the 2010-11 season. But as you might imagine, in a season where they lost Zach Randolph for a good portion of the year, they weren't quite the same against the Western Conference last season. I'm not sure what he was thinking about there. That's a strange foul.
Who knows? Maybe he just wanted to take a break for a minute.
Randolph kicks to Gasol. Back to Randolph. Memphis needs to get off a shot here. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time.
Well, that's inexcusable to throw a pass that far off the mark.
The Kings shooting a putrid 25% from the field. Poor shot selection all around. Fredette gets the bucket. And, of course, you lose a guy like Zach Randolph, your power forward. You have a harder time matching up with all the great post players in the West. It was a pretty big challenge.
A big-time challenge, Kevin. And yet the Grizzlies were able to come out ahead overall with a 26-22 record against the West. But certainly without Randolph, they just could not match what they had accomplished the year prior.
Stolen by Randolph. Now here's Prince. Tight defense on him. Allen. Conley up top. Salmon's covering. Randolph goes in. Rejected by Cousins. Now here is Fredette. Defended by Allen. Evans right side. Here's Salmons. And it's Gasol with the rebound. Gasol's got 6 rebounds here tonight.
Man, how about the season Marc Gasol had a year ago, guys? He was terrific, made the All-Star team. Excellent passer at the high post, but strong. Can really go down on the block and shoot that jump hook as well.
Passes it to Allen. Some nice passing there by Memphis. Conley's shot is off. The Kings have gone 2 of 3 from the field to start the second half. Good on the shot. Evans has got 5 points so far.
You know, and I think it goes without saying, guys, but his strength and body control scoring in close, that's what makes him special. You can see it with the shooting percentages inside. I mean, he's a tremendous finisher.
Not to mention, guys, he's got those rush hour handles. He can get in a lot of tight spaces the way he handles that ball. He's able to dissect the defense with ease.
So Memphis ends up going with the new group. Patterson, the screen. Fredette inside the three-point line. And the wing jumper offline. And for Marc Gasol, 4 years younger than his 4-time All-Star brother Pau Gasol. You know, he's entering his prime. And now he's on pretty equal footing, I think, Clark, with his older brother.
Well, you know, he was the 48th pick back in 2007, and that's pretty strong company to be mentioned in with his brother Pau. So he's different. A bigger center. He's 7'1", 265, a little heavier, and seems to be more comfortable playing with his back to the basket.
And then Cousins with the dunk.
And that's exactly what you call a high percentage hoop there.
Sure is.
The one-handed throwdown. Gotta love it.
And blocked. We've gone about 3.5 minutes into the third now.
Well, unfortunately, he just has not been able to produce offensively to this point. Well, it's an interesting year, to say the least, for the Kings last season. Keith Smart took over as head coach, did a pretty decent job of righting the ship. But Sacramento has struggled for years now. They've got some good young talent, but it's very young. This is a raw ball club. They got to start to add some veterans, get some stability with their organization, with their situation in the city of Sacramento, and within their roster. So a lot of work ahead for the Kings.
Here's Bayless. DeMarcus Cousins comes up with the rebound. The Kings have gotten 5 of 8 shots to fall for them in the third quarter. A nice 62% from the field. Patterson dishes to Fredette. Back to Patterson. Is it down?
A little added hang time right there.
Yeah, letting himself down easy, it looks like.
Soft landing.
Yeah, a little better for the knees, so I don't blame him.
Going back to the Kings, as you said, Steve, even though the Kings struggle to find wins, they at least got on the same page between the players and the coaching staff, and Clark, that's always a step in the right direction.
Without question, partner. I mean, you can get away with some headbutting as a team when you're winning games, but it's the last thing you need if you're struggling and trying to build.
He kicks to Cousins. Sinks that one from the post. Cousins has got 6 here in this quarter.
They're on track here in the second half after their less than impressive first half. I mean, I think they came out with some tired legs to start, but they've turned it around. They found some energy, and they look a lot more active and engaged. That's terrific defense right there to prevent them from converting in close.
And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout. As the fourth quarter gets going, let's swing it over to Doris Burke to find out who's had the Sprite uncontainable game. Doris?
And Kevin, for that great stretch that the Grizzlies put together, they get the Uncontainable Game Award. As their lead grows, so has their defensive effort, and they keep feeding off one another. It's been a statement game for them on that side of the ball.
Thank you, Doris. And how many times, guys, do we see a run like this become the difference maker in the outcome of a game?
Well, that usually is the case, Kevin, when one team can get on a run like they did, where they just feel so dominant offensively. More often than not, that's going to be the difference in the game.
And in this game, even at the very beginning of that run, you could sense the momentum getting ready to take a huge swing. And swing it did, fellas. Swing it did.
We've got Tyreek Evans, DeMarcus Cousins out there with Salmons. Then it's Jimmer Fredette, and it's Patterson in at the 3 spot. That's the 5 out there for the Kings. The Kings trail by 18. And Cousins kicks to Fredette. Salmons passes to Evans. Feeds it to Cousins. Yes, and a nice assist from Evans. 10 points here for Cousins.
Well, he's been scoring pretty well on just a few attempts. It might help them out if he was a bit more assertive.
Here's Gasol, and he drops it in from the low post. And the Grizzlies lead by 18.
He's been so solid. You've got to keep him out there on the floor, really doing a nice job for the offense.
Evans dishes to Fredette. 3-pointer. And the rebound goes to the Grizzlies. And here we go with Allen running it up the court. Evans with some nice D. The Kings have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. The pass to Salmons. He dishes it to Fredette. He passes to Patterson. He feeds it to Cousins. 6 on the shot clock. And stolen by Prince. And now the Grizzlies, fast break. Allen hammers it home to polish off the break.
Nicely done. They've really attacked effectively in transition.
There's no doubt about it, Steve. Their quickness has given them an advantage. I mean, I've liked the way they've pushed the ball all game.
Well, Memphis knew that if they wanted to get better as a team, they would have to be better on the road. And even though they still have some work to do, they did make strides in that area last season. This has been a game for him to forget. And so far, anyway, we'll see if he can pick it up.
The dish to Conley. There's the feed to Gasol. And stolen by Cousins. And they're pushing it up. It's Evans on the wing. Fredette over by Conley. Fredette kicks to Evans. From outside the arc, Jimmer Fredette, and that's good. Going back to Memphis, Steve was just talking about Clark a second ago. They made strides, but they still weren't where they ultimately wanted to be. Away from home, for instance, just 15 and 18.
But that's still an improvement over what they were the year before. I mean, so you've got to look at progress being made there. They just need to keep the trend moving in the right direction as this franchise continues to try to become one of the elite teams in the Western Conference.
Evans passes to Fredette. Goes back up. Grizzlies with the rebound. Allen's got 3 rebounds now in this one.
Another board for them, and they've got a huge advantage in that regard.
Yeah, it's not really a surprise. I mean, rebounding one of the true barometers in winning basketball games, and if you rebound better, you typically are going to win ball games and do it comfortably.
We've played just over 3.5 minutes now in the fourth quarter. And the foul called on DeMarcus Cousins. That's his third foul of the game.
As the three-point shot has become more and more prominent in the NBA, you know, the mid-range jumper has fallen somewhat into disfavor and taken a back seat. Defenses are actually geared to force shooters inside the three-point line. You hear coaches talking all the time, chase them off the line and then challenge the two-point shot.
A nice shot by Arthur.
Well, you can put this one in the W column. I mean, this is locked up now.
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. I mean, they closed this game out exactly like they needed to.
Fredette can't hit.
I don't mind that shot, though. He's an excellent three-point shooter. He's just showing a lot of confidence there.
I'm right with you there, Steve. I mean, let it flow when you're feeling it.
Dishes it to Bayless. They set the pick. To the middle, Arthur kicks it to Bayless. Memphis moving it around. From 15 feet away. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Passes it to Dooley. He kicks it to Bayless. Day dishes to Bayless.
Well, they're not going to get back into this game when they commit frustration fouls like that one.
How about exasperation fouls? I mean, that's what it looked like to me. It's an indication of the kind of game they've been having.
And the first one at the line is good. He hits one and misses one, each at the line. Off his foot, and they're saying he kicked the ball. Now dueling. Feeds it to Bayless. And the foul called on DeMarcus Cousins. That will get him his fourth foul of the game, and due to the bonus, we'll head to the line for two. And he knocks down the first one. And both free throws good for dueling. Here's Fredette. Missed. So no problem for Memphis as they get the win. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night, and these guys might want to watch the tape of this game the next time they have a bad night to remind themselves of...